tonight I'm making fried ravioli, which is a very easy and fun recipe, and it's really versatile too. It's kid-friendly, and you could do it for dinner like we're doing tonight. We're going to pair this with some toasted bread and cheese and a salad to go with it. Or it could be an appetizer for a party, or it could be an after-school snack for when the kids get home and everyone's about to start back to school next week. So a lot of different options for this recipe. Hey, Ashley! I'm going to flip this around so y'all can see. Okay, first of all, I have a little bit of olive oil in our pan here, just enough to cut maybe about an inch thick, if that. It might be less than an inch. But I'm going to go ahead and turn this on medium, although I'll probably end up flipping it to a little under because olive oil has a lower boiling temperature than vegetable oil does. We also have some marinara sauce over here that I'm going to heat up, and I'm going to go ahead and turn that on to medium as well, and just let that heat up a bit and warm that up. I just used some canned tomato sauce tonight, some tomato and basil to make it easy, but you could also make your own for this dish. And tonight I'm just feeling a little bit, I want to do something a little bit simpler, so either one's a good option. Okay, so we have just some cheese ravioli over here. They're mini bite-sized cheese tortellini. It's from the refrigerated section at your grocery store. So that cuts your prep and makes that a lot easier and quicker to put together. I do like to make fresh pasta, and one day I'm going to try to make fresh ravioli. That's something I haven't tried yet, but I do love to make fresh pasta and fresh lasagna. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to soak it in some milk here. And the recipe actually called for buttermilk, but I'm just using regular milk because that's what I have on hand. If you really want to do buttermilk, then you can get that, or put a little bit of lemon juice in your milk, and that would have the same effect. And then I have some Italian breadcrumbs here. So you could buy Italian breadcrumbs at the store, but actually made mine since I didn't have any on hand. I just used some toasted bread. You can use bread that's toasted or stale bread. That works better than fresh bread. And then I blended that in a food processor with some basil and some thyme and some oregano and a little bit of salt and pepper to give it that Italian seasoning. So I'm going to dunk the ravioli in here and just kind of toss these. So nicely coated in the seasoning. This is something pretty easy that you could get your kids to help you make too. It's a little bit messy, but I think they would find that fun. Obviously, we're not going to let James help since he's allergic to milk and cheese and all that. But for most kids, this will be a really fun dish for them to eat and for them to help make. So as you can see, our tomato sauce is already heated up. That didn't take long at all. And so I'm actually going to just turn the eye off here. Just going to turn that off. So that'll be nice and bubbly, and that'll cool down to where it's not too hot to eat by the time we want to eat dinner. Okay, so I'm going to make a few more of these here. So we'll fry these ravioli up and then sprinkle them with grated Parmesan cheese, and then we'll dip them in the marinara sauce. Isn't that fun? It's kind of like dipping cheese sticks or mozzarella sticks in marinara, but just a little bit different. This would be really fun for a party to have as an appetizer. If this goes well, I'm considering making it for my Bunco group on Thursday night. Soak a few more in the milk here. I hope all of y'all are having a good weekend. So we just kind of spent the day going to church and then hanging around at the house and kind of catching up on some stuff. But yesterday, while my husband was working on scanning charts at his dental office, they're working on going paperless. So he got a couple high school students to help him scan charts all day. Well, that doesn't sound super exciting. It's a necessary task, so to get up to date in the electronic age. But James and I went to the splash pad over in Vestavia, and he had so much fun. He loved playing in the water and splashing around. Of course, if y'all saw my video yesterday, y'all also figured out that I got burned because I put sunscreen on James and on my face, but not on the rest of myself. So that was a very poor decision. I'm going to be slathering sunscreen when we go to the beach this weekend. But fortunately, it's starting to get better with all the lotions and stuff I've been putting on it. Hey Gay, how are you? I hope you're having a good weekend. Alright, so this really doesn't take long at all. Just a few minutes to dunk these and put it in the seasoning. So I probably had about 2 cups worth of the breadcrumbs here. I didn't really measure, but the recipe called for two cups, and I kind of eyeballed it. And that seems to be working out to be just the right amount to kind of coat these ravioli, and then after that I'll toss it. Alright, so all done. So that didn't take long at all. I'm going to rinse my hands real quick, because I had breadcrumbs all over them. It's a little bit messy, but not nearly as messy as fried chicken. So I had a few breadcrumbs left over. As you can see, you can see that the herbs in there mixed in with the breadcrumbs. All right, so our oil is nice and hot, and I'm actually going to turn it down a little bit to about 4. I don't know if yours have number. I'm turning it down to just a little bit below medium. And I already have a plate over here and a couple layers of paper towels to drain the ravioli on. Hey Michelle, how are you? I hope your wedding plans are coming along nicely. All right. And so I'm just going to dunk these in, and I'm going to fry these for about 3 minutes, and I'm going to rotate them during that time, and then I'm going to take them off and drain them on the paper towels. I'll probably have to do a couple of batches of this. Alright, so I'll let that go for a minute or so and then flip those over. So over here I went ahead and toasted us some bread. I just have some whole wheat bread here, and I spread some mascarpone cheese on. I love that as an alternative to butter. So it's really creamy, and it adds just a different flavor to your bread, and it's actually lighter in calories than butter too. And I sprinkled some Parmesan on top of that as well. And I can still see some steam coming up from our tomato sauce, so it's still nice and warmed. That'll be perfect for dipping these ravioli in a minute. Hi, Val. How are you doing? Hope you're having a great weekend. That's bubbling, cooking along nicely. So I usually fry things in vegetable oil, but the olive oil will give the fried ravioli a nice Italian flavor. Alright, I'm going to flip these over. It's been going for about a minute or so. I can already smell some of the seasoning. It smells really good. You can see the ravioli is kind of puffing up as it's cooking, just like it would if you were cooking it in water. And it's getting browned. Alright, I'm excited to try this. And I wish dipping something, like having bite-sized things and then dipping them in some kind of sauce, this is perfect for kids. I really wish James wasn't allergic to dairy and could try this with us, but maybe one day he'll grow out of it. And if not, I'll probably figure out some kind of dairy-free alternatives to make for him. He did really like the dairy-free pizza that he tried the other night. So I'm going to go ahead and pull these out. They're looking really good. And they've been going for about 3 minutes total now. So James ended up having some leftover barbecue pork that I made for him last night. I just used a pork loin and some dairy-free barbecue sauce. So if any of y'all, are vegan or dairy-free, Saul's Barbecue in Birmingham and Bunyan's Barbecue in Florence both have dairy-free sauce. They're really simple sauces, just made with a couple of ingredients, and no high fructose corn syrup or anything either, which is nice to make it a little bit healthier. But you usually find the less ingredients that something has, the more likely it is to be dairy-free. Once you start adding in all those additives and extra things and flavors and milk byproducts, it increases the risk of having dairy in it. So I just put some Bunyan sauce up from the barbecue place where my grandparents live on it for him, and he had that yesterday and then leftovers for dinner today. He gobbled that up. I've also met a cashier at our Publix recently. She's one of the younger ones. She's probably in high school or something. But she's dairy-free like James. She's actually allergic to milk. And so we've been talking about all kinds of dairy-free substitutes that are available. So she's been recommending things like the pizza, and there's some dairy-free cream cheese that we haven't tried yet. So there's really more options than you would think. But Dane and I haven't quite convinced ourselves to give up milk and cheese and all that yummy goodness yet. So hence we're enjoying some fried ravioli on a night where we did have definitely something available that James could eat. Get that last one. All right. So 2 batches will do it. I'll flip that in a minute. And so here we have some of our fried ravioli, and that's kind of drained nicely. So I'm actually going to grab another plate here so I can use this same one to drain the ravioli in a minute, and we'll just sprinkle our Parmesan cheese on it and be set to go with this one. So I'm going to move some of this over. And then I'll put the marinara sauce in some mini bowls, and that'll make it perfect for dipping. So as an appetizer, this would probably serve 4 to 6 people, but we're just having it for dinner, so we're going to make it serve 2 people. All right, so we have some of our grated Parmesan cheese here. We'll just sprinkle that on the top. It looks really good. I love Parmesan. It's one of my favorite cheeses. Hey Jeff, how are you? I hope y'all do have a good week at work this week. I know my mom's going to be enjoying the beach. I always tell her she's indispensable because she's been working at the church for so long. But I know that you and everyone else will have everything in hand. All right, so these are already browning up too. I'm going to flip these over. See, these really don't take very long at all to cook up. It's a super quick dinner or snack or appetizer or whatever you would decide. I do really think some kids would be excited if they came home to this as their after-school snack next week. So I'm going to grab us a couple of mini bowls here. Perfect size for some dipping sauce. We can just scoop up some of this warmed up marinara sauce here. Start with that, and it'll go with the fried ravioli, and voila, and that plus a salad will make a yummy dinner. All right, I'll let y'all enjoy the rest of your Sunday evening. Bon appetit.